Well, I think I never need to trouble my mind with that one again.
No. Were you troubled at all by a film called The Farewell, which you're now going to talk about?
You could say that, Scott. You could say that. I hadn't even heard of The Farewell before I saw it. It was one of Cineworld's unlimited screenings. I was in the mood for a film, and after a brief Google suggested it was a heartwarming comedy drama set in a culture with which I'm not particularly familiar. I thought, yeah, why not? Sounds good, that'll do. Could be interesting. Certainly those around me in the cinema seemed to be enjoying it, even despite the lower half of the second row of subtitles being cut off by an incorrectly aimed projector. Me, on the other hand, it's a long time since a film made me this angry. And no, it wasn't the subtitles. Beginning in New York, but set mostly in Changchun in China, The Farewell is based on real-life experiences of director Lulu Wang. Bailey, Aquafina, is struggling in her career as a writer. It's a stressful time for her, but one of her crutches is the close relationship she has with her grandmother in China, Nai Nai, Zhao Shuzhen, with whom she talks by phone very regularly. Going to visit her parents in New York one day, she discovers a very sombre mood and demands to be told what the problem is. She's eventually let in on the knowledge that Nai Nai has lung cancer. Not that they were going to tell Billy though, beginning a whole series of absolute asshat humans lying to, directly or by omission, people in their family that they claim to care about. And why weren't they going to tell Billy, someone they know has an extremely close relationship with her grandmother? Well, because they're not telling the grandmother either. And they didn't believe that Billy would have the necessary lack of being a decent human to effectively sell the lie. This lie, incidentally, being that Nai Nai's fine and that Billy's cousin Hao Hao is returning to China from Japan to get married, and all of the family are gathering to celebrate. The wedding seems to be real, and therefore legal, so sucks to be the poor, non-Chinese speaking Japanese girlfriend of Hao Hao somehow roped into this sham, I guess. But its purpose is not to unite two people in love, or they may well be in love, but they've only been together a few months and it's clearly not their choice, but to be with Nai Nai as they watch her die without telling her that she's even ill. Nai Nai being a moron is a secondary problem I'm not going to bother getting into. Everyone's in on this. Friends, children, extended family, the entire fecking medical profession. Why Nai Nai, the patient, is never told of her condition, and why the doctors instead talk only to her younger sister is left a mystery. Nai Nai's not feeble, or of reduced mental capacity or anything, by the way. She's just your regular granny. Clearly they do things differently in China. And by differently here I mean in a manner completely at odds with that which would be ethical. This deeply unethical behaviour is even directly addressed in the film, with Billy's father pointing out that keeping this information from the patient would be not just impossible in the US, it would be illegal. And for good reason, because it's immoral! There's a really pathetic attempt at justification of this later, with Billy's uncle, Jang Yongbo, spouting some nonsense about how in the West people are individuals and in the East it's different and that the larger whole is more important and yada yada yada. There are many cultural differences in this wide world, with different emphasis put on different matters all over. And that's fine. But some things are just wrong, regardless of whether it's a cultural norm or not. And telling your mother she just has a bad cold and illegally buying cancer medication off the internet based on something you read on the internet to give her under the guise of them being vitamins is definitely one of those things. You can't criticise China, you're Chinese, Nai Nai tells her family at one point. Not in the you can't, you'll go to jail way, which is also true, but rather that you shouldn't, you mustn't, it's unthinkable, unconscionable. Not only is this mind-bendingly stupid, if anyone has the right to criticise China, it's Chinese. And if ever a country was deserving of criticism, then China is right up there. Curiously enough, though, and while this is an American film, it clearly required a lot of Chinese cooperation, there's plenty to suggest that director Wang is indeed criticising China, at least in an oblique manner, though frustratingly, not criticising the issue at the heart of the film. Around, under and behind all of this is what ought to be that touching family comedy drama that is what so many other people seem to have got from The Farewell. And that's the reason I don't actually hate this film. There's a believable family dynamic, the love and the sniping, issues of identity, particularly as a child of two cultures, some humour, and enough of those really enjoyable insights into other cultures where you can see all of the, well, that's very different, and wow, not how we do it moments mixed in with all of the ways in which we are so very similar. And then you have the humorous montage of How drunk and crying uncontrollably at his own wedding. And why is that? Oh yeah, because he has just sort of fake married a poor woman he barely knows, and his beloved grandmother is right next to him dying from cancer. Laugh riot. Had the central conceit been a point for discussion, then this could actually have been really interesting. But everyone, even those initially against it, fully buys in eventually, and not just because of the family politics and the certain ostracisation it would result. And then there's a coda that either tries to justify the decisions taken and or renders them moot, and I'm not sure which. It's well directed and very well acted, Awkwafina in particular, and the composition of scenes is often fantastic. But watching The Farewell is an awful experience, as virtually everyone in it is a terrible person, though the film acts otherwise. I'm a few weeks removed from this now, and I'm still salty about it. Surprisingly then, it's not one that I'm going to recommend.
Is this an actual film, or have you been on the tramadol again?
This is an actual film that has had glowing reviews since it was released at Sundance in January.
Is everyone else on the tramadol?
Apparently.
Where can I get the tramadol, Drew? I need the tramadol.
All of the tramadol. All of the lovely, lovely tramadol.
No.
I mean, I looked around at a few reviews of this too. And understandably, they mention the family dynamic and the culture clash sort of thing, which isn't played too heavily, but it's there. I mean, that's all fine. But almost, well, in fact, not one review I've seen of, literally only half dozen I looked at so far, even mentioned the fact that the whole thing is based on something that is spectacularly immoral and unethical.
Yeah.
And I don't care whether that, because they say in the film, like, that's a tradition in China, you don't tell people. It's like, yeah, there's lots of other traditions that are really bad too, like, you know, stopping women driving and things. They're not acceptable. Just because you've done it for a long time doesn't make it okay. And it's so immoral. I mean, honestly, I was...
But we've always tricked our grandmothers.
Oh, it's baffling, Scott. I mean, first I don't understand why they're doing this. Like, the doctor talks to her sister, but why? She's a capable adult. And I don't get that. That's the film starts off like that. And then that scene where the father's talking about how it would be illegal in the US. And honestly, I had to bite my tongue, like literally bite my tongue on my lip actually in the cinema, because I hate people being loud in the cinema. I was dying to swear at the screen and just scream about it being so immoral. And nobody else seems to have picked up on this. And I'm like, have I seen a different version of the film? And it's like, I know I did, because I saw it in a cinema full of people. Yes, this film made me very angry because it's just so wrong. It's not addressed.
-5 stars.
That's about right. Yeah, so not recommended for me, this one.